Hey guys, back with another video, and I'm trying not to be too loud so as to not wake up the rest of the family. If you're wondering why the room is all dark and I'm like whispering, it's because I am an insomniac. Confession, yes, I have insomnia and have had it for a few years, and it just varies from time to time with what's going on, how bad it gets. Right now I'm having like seriously bad insomnia, and I think a lot of it has to do with like my health being all out of whack with my hormones and whatnot, because of the miscarriage that I went through about a month ago. So like I'm trying to get like back on the right level with that. If you're wondering about my eyes and why they look all weird, like one doesn't match the other, I kind of like did the stare earlier today where I don't even know if you guys can hear me, but anyway, I did the stare earlier today where we like put makeup on one side of our face and like take a picture. Anyway, so that's why I look so weird and uneven. Anyway, so wanted to make another video. I guess I can put it in my religion and ethics videos, but since I'm already on the subject of like insomnia and craziness, I thought I would talk about mental illness. And I know I probably sound like I'm mental right now, but I'm just an insomniac who's a little bit hyper and wants to make a video, so don't judge me. So, yeah, so mental illness, a lot of times there's like crazy stigmas that come along with that. I guess you could say my personal confessions, aside from the insomnia, which is more physical and like a mental thing, so I think it's more sort of physiological, because I think a lot of it has to do with like willpower, and control, because if you like get in your head, I must go to bed at a certain time, you can kind of make yourself do it, but it's kind of hard. It is more of a physical thing, but I guess a certain amount of mental, willpower and whatnot plays into it. And the more determined you are to try and stay on a sleeping schedule and, try and go to bed at a certain time and like just clear your mind of crazy random thoughts, then the easier it is for you to actually go to sleep. Anyway, but I'm really not crazy, even though in some of my videos I probably tend to rant or ramble and, and mutter, and I'm really not a psychopath or just crazy and shit, but I suppose that, if you really were to like cross-examine me and like put me under a lie detector and whatnot, you could probably do the little flashcards or whatever they do with the therapists or psychiatrists or whatever. This is a butterfly, this is a bird, whatever, then I don't know if I pass. I'd probably fall into, because some of the categories of like mental illness or mental disorders or whatever the preferred term is nowadays are so like very, just about anybody could fit into any number of those categories, and that's what's so insane about it. I like my little what's it called, euphemisms. No, but that's what's so crazy or insane. Speaking of insane, crazy, but that's what's so insane about it, is that any person in the world could probably fall into some kind of mental illness category, because we're our own weird ranges of like crazy. I mean, someone that's hyper, you could call them ADHD. Someone that's not, it's kind of a Debbie Downer, you could call them depressed. Like, that's the thing that about the whole psychiatric mental illness thing that kind of is mind-boggling to me, because no matter what you do in life, you could fall into some sort of mental illness label, which is crazy. I mean, I know there are people out there that truly do have mental illnesses, and they can be really scary and really dangerous, and really detrimental to them living a productive life. I realize that, so I'm not trying to be too, be joking too much about that sort of thing. It is a serious thing, and especially because some mental illnesses can lead to self-harm or death even. So it's not a joking matter, but at the same time, I do find it interesting that that just about anybody could fall into some sort of mental illness stigma for just about anything that goes on in their life, or any kind of action or reaction. So I was diagnosed at one point as being depressed or borderline depressed, but considering the circumstances that were going on in my life, I was able to function properly. I wasn't any kind of weird. I was a little down, but obviously there were some pretty shitty things that were going on in my life at the time. Some marriage issues. I had just had a miscarriage, and I was all upset and shook up about that. Unnaturally, it was people expected me to just be oh, I'm happy, yay, and just be normal about it, and I guess because I've noticed with miscarriage a lot, and I've had 2 miscarriages, people just expect you to just get over it, they don't think of it like the death of a family member, and it really is, you've lost a child, so it's not going to be an automatic, I'm back, I'm myself, I'm my old happy self as if nothing happened, you can't do that. So I mean, so I kind of got this sort of stigma that oh you're depressed, and it wasn't I wasn't able to go about my day as normal and function, but because I wasn't just happy-go-lucky, yay, let's get up and dance and have a fucking musical number, then, I mean, I must be obviously depressed, because, it's they didn't understand, the natural processes of grieving, so, I must be depressed, which was so stupid, because, I mean, I later on, yes, I did get depressed because of some of the things that were going on, but it wasn't I wasn't able to function, but at that point in time, it was are you kidding me? How is, I'm just being a normal person going through emotions, normal human emotions, and yet you're gonna label me as being depressed. That's fucking stupid, and cruel even, completely insensitive. I just lost a child, but because I'm not getting up and jumping up and down and running a marathon the next day, then there's something wrong with me. I must be depressed. So that's something that really ticks me off about labels like that. A little kid that tends to have a little more energy and be more excited about life and shit. They're automatically gonna get labeled ADHD or ADD or whatever, or a child that tends to daydream more, or, be a little bit more of a dreamer and, more distractible in school and whatnot, and so they're automatically labeled, oh, you have a problem, you're ADHD, let's put you on a shit ton of medication. That is just fucked up, that is just not okay. These little bitty kids, we're not even talking adults or teenagers, we're talking little, 6, 8, 10-year-old kids, or younger even nowadays, that are being put on medication for just being normal and being kids and like enjoying life and shit, you know? It's just ridiculous. And what else? I honestly, my dad works in a mental hospital. And yeah, I know that I realize that the majority of the people there probably should be there, you know, for good reason, that they do honestly have mental illness, but I have to wonder sometimes with mental illness if some people aren't just diagnosed that so they can, like, get rid of the problem because they're not, you know, maybe they're socially awkward people, you know, and they just, you know, whatever, for whatever reason, they're a troublemaker or they're socially awkward, or, you know, so they get put in this kind of label or stigma of being a certain kind of person. And believe me, I've met people that seriously do have mental illness problems. I think it's part of it is just like being a selfish biatch, you know. Some people are probably not mentally ill, but they're mental in the sense of like being just mean or evil people, you know, or, you know, just extremely selfish and self-centered, you know, narcissistic or whatever. And probably anybody could be labeled a narcissist if they, you know, they're sufficiently self-centered or think enough of themselves, you know. And that's the thing about mental illness. I think so many times there's so many labels that are placed on people just because of being different or being outside the box, so to speak. And that's irritating to me. I know that there are people that seriously are mentally ill, and, you know, because of childhood trauma or whatnot, and they do definitely need help, but I think with society's eagerness to label people a certain kind of, you know, that aren't, you know, status quo or, you know, just socially acceptable or whatnot, to quickly label them as a certain kind of thing. Oh, you're ADHD. Oh, you're depressed. Oh, you're what's one of the other ones? There's one about sociability. I mean, somebody is a wallflower and they get labeled crap, I can't think of what it's called. But anyway, the girl in the movie Girl Interrupted, the main character, I can't remember the name of her particular mental illness, but just because she wasn't, like, you know, super, you know, the life of the party or whatever, she was automatically labeled as having that disorder. Or supposed disorder. Anyway, and she got sent to a loony bin with a bunch of people that really were fucking crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna make another video because I'm like on a roll with this. I'm just pretty much ranting. But if you enjoyed, and I will get right back with you with another video in just a sec.